again, I'm going to say this again, and this is from somebody who's been in this for a long time on multiple sides of this. The ability to do things and be able to do things is great. The access to have the ability to do everything yourself is great. But actually executing that is extremely hard. And you can be a great crafter at multiple things and be able to do multiple things, but there is something to be said about how certain gateways would propel artists back in the days, and how those are still around, but maybe not as prevalent. But I do think it's in a better place because the artists have and control their own narrative right now.
Yeah.
So I've always said that. I've always described it, and it's been for years now because we were there when the internet started. Like being in music, and now we're doing the podcast thing for so long. Gift and the curse. It literally is, because to Lone's point, just because you have the setup, you have everything, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be good at it. On the flip side, there are, more frequently the lightning in the bottle instances where just get people that get to 1 million and then something crazy happens, and then they're next to the artists that have been working for the last 10 or 12 years. It kind of goes.
See, the difference nowadays is that you have to maintain that hot. You have to maintain your wick being lit, so to speak.
Yeah. It's
if
momentum.
You don't, like back in the day, you had time. You had time to actually relish in the moment and let some time pass by before you came with something else. Nowadays, once you get hot, you have to constantly do that to stay hot, until you meet like that superstar status to where you can kind of relax a little bit and let them wait till I make a move now. Otherwise, you have to always be in people's face.
Think about somebody like Young M.A. As talented as she is, she put, the joint "Ooh," and like that might not be the name of the song. That's the hook,
right?
And
that's what we know it as. Yeah,
super duper hot. She became a star off of that. But I know she's done some things since then, things that I liked, but nothing to the level of that. Like a lot of times people's first look is the hottest look they get, and then it's all downhill from there.
You've got to
and
keep
that's unfortunate.
Momentum. You've got to keep momentum. Momentum is so important.
Because a lot of times people get their first look. The first look is blazing hot, and what do is like, okay, well, I'm gonna do the remix. And then the next song they put out, people are like, yeah. And then the next song they put out, people are, look, remember Trinidad James? Trinidad James got a $2 million contract from Def Jam.
He had a run. He had a nice little run.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
they did a remix. So they did a remix to All Gold Everything, and then nothing.
You gotta keep going.
And then it was dropped.
Keep the wick lit.
Hope he saved that.
Capital. Well, Young M.A. actually benefited too. Part of her rise was due to Bobby Shmurda getting locked up too, because I don't know if y'all remember, that flow was it was very similar to how Bobby Shmurda. Bobby Shmurda.
The songs mixed.
He was locked up before the album even. Yeah, I think he got locked up before his album came out, didn't he?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't quote.
6 years.
Don't quote me on that, but you might be right. But I have to look it up. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
He got locked up. He did 6 years. He came out and he's essentially he still has his spot because his peers kind of kept him up. Have been riding with him, so to speak. Right now is his time to either act on that, because even though he did a 6-year bid, still prime and ready to capitalize on what he started 6-7 years ago. Right now, based off of his peers keeping him in everybody's mind and speaking them up, so to speak.
I don't know if I've ever seen and all good points by y'all, by the way, before we transition to the next topic. I don't know if I've ever seen an artist come home and be this celebrated with that small amount of product prior to going in. I think Bobby Shmurda's a lot of the allure is the fact that he didn't rat. Like he made it so that what's my man name that could get home early
now in the 69 age.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Right now, what's my boy name that is homie that he took an extra year so that he could get out early? I can't call his name. I'm not that familiar with them, but you know who I'm talking about. Roddy Rebel, I think is his name. If I said it wrong, they'll get me in the comments.
Yeah, that's him.
I think I think the majority of that, I think a lot of it is that because he had the one joint, and then it's kind of like, all right, what else? But I say that to say y'all make good points.
If you've enjoyed this segment of the New Old Heads podcast, make sure to join our live show every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/newoldheads. And we invite you to join our hip hop community on Discord. Access it by going to newoldheads.com/community for talks on hip hop, sports, music, news, and everything else.